Hey everyone, it's a patient toddler coming at you with another live stream, and today I have the real Randy Chavez on the channel. So make sure to say hello to Dashi this way. So say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Oh man, dream came true to say that. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Doing all right. Just got back from the gym, just down to a couple muscle milks. No, this is not a paid advertisement. Just what happened is I didn't have the protein in my I'm always like really lax on things, so I ran out of protein in my car a couple days ago. I ordered some, but it's right here in my it's just here in my kitchen. I just haven't replaced it yet. So
I had that. That was the optimum nutrition one. I had that once, and then I figured out by taking this that I had a milk allergy. So okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn.
But yeah, great. Okay, so first things first, we have a lot of people already here. Some people were actually already doing some Wes did some advertisement here. Let's just quickly get some housekeeping done, because probably it's going to be a little bit moonboyish and degenerate from time to time on the stream. So nothing of what we are saying here is financial advice, guys. So please do your own research before you ape full degen into the Ecomi token or the VeVe collectibles. And also make sure to stop by at Randy's YouTube channel. I'll just pull it up here quickly. Make sure to sub him, because either way, everything that you can see here is full of great content. If you want to just shower in the news that are pouring down that no one can cover except maybe you, then you need to be subscribed to Randy's channel. So yeah, and with that out of the way, let's see just who's in here. VeVe France is in here. Hey, what's going on? Valentina says you're a moon boy. Are we all?
Yeah, fair point.
That we will cover a little bit later, but we will come back to this one. See you soon. Okay, let's go. Hello, everyone. So Ted is also in the house. Dutch homie, Jimbo Lee, Lingo. What's going on? What's up, fam? Super duper Hank. So a lot of people here in the channel. Hello and welcome, everyone. So yeah, I thought I'd start out with some warm-up questions for you, because I think you're the expert in interviews, but I'm getting there. So I thought these are not lightning rounds as Taps does them, because I think you have more than 2 words as an answer usually. But let's just get in with those.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so if we are talking about directly with the first question, VeVe app, comics or collectibles on the VeVe app?
It's so hard. I don't think there's enough data to make a good, accurate description, because there's like the statues I have behind me. Let's say the Todd.
Mm-hmm.
The Todd is like, I think maybe the physical had gone up to like 1,000. I think it's like 500 or 600 now. And when the Todd was at like 14,000, okay, well that's 14x the price of the actual physical statue.
Yeah,
which seems very high. But then when you take a look at the comic books that are like a fraction of what they are in real life, like the ones in real life are, it could be hundreds of thousands of dollars, or let's say tens of thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just not that. There may be tens of thousands in the secret rare, but I think they have to kind of level out a little bit. I think the comic books definitely need to go up much, much higher. And I think the percentage-wise above what the collectibles are, the physical collectibles need to rise, which they have. They definitely have since the inception of their digital counterparts on the blockchain. But I just don't know where that line is. I don't know how much. So we'll see. I mean, it could just be a new medium. People could just not care. Like I didn't necessarily know these things existed beforehand, and now I do, and now I have some. So.
Me neither. Did you buy a comic as well, like a graded one or so?
No, I have a few that people send me. So therefore, I have like Tales of Suspense, and I have a couple of Scotty Young. Dude, Scotty Young ones are awesome. I love the little chibi stuff where they're like little. Yeah, those things are great.
I got one a while ago when they dropped this comic. I got this one.
Nice.
It was a $100 thing, but it was until today. This is my favorite cover. So just saying that.
Nice.
But it made me buy a comic. So VeVe made me buy a physical comic while investing in the not selling any stuff. So it benefited the physical side as well with me. But yeah, next one is what is the best? What would be the best thing that happened in your life?
It'd probably be outside of like being born, because that's the start of life. I would probably say getting adopted, because I was if life is a game, and I was born at like the worst spawn rate, like not the worst, but I was born in Peru.
Mm-hmm.
It was very, very poor country. I was born in not even a house. It had 4 walls, but it didn't have a roof.
Wow.
And it was a very poor starting point. And I think that, again, if this is a game, all my stats went into luck, and then just I happened to get adopted, and just basically won the lottery. And I would say that
into the US.
Yeah, I was adopted from Peru into the US. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then, but if we're that I don't remember anything.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's a combination of, in recent history, in the last like 10-ish years, going into and getting out of the military.
Mm-hmm.
I think getting out was probably the best thing, and then but going into was the second best thing, because you could go in, and if I had a better job, I would have stayed in. It can be a very nice lifestyle if your job is in like finance, or your job is in like something where you're not actively like hating your life.
Okay.
There's some jobs that are really cool. But mine it was just so I got in. I got lucky enough where I got a job that sucked, so that I could get out in 4 years and be okay. And then I would say that. I would say those, and then just having mentors. So I know that's a really long-winded answer, and I answered it like 3 different times.
This is great, because actually I want to follow up on so many things already. But okay, I've gotten from this that you have served 4 years in the army as someone who was originally from Peru, but in the U.S. Army. So
4 years in the United States Air Force.
You always use the hat, so I figured that.
It was the Air Force.
Have you ever been deployed, or like to a mission or whatever? It's like.
Yeah. So in the Air Force, you deploy anywhere, and my job was called 2T2, and what 2T2 is, it means air transportation. So anywhere that anyone would go, we would need to go to set up supplies, or set up a base, or set up whatever. And some people maybe don't have the right clearances to handle certain equipment, so we have to go and we have to do that. And so I got deployed into a place called Ali Al Salem. It was Kuwait. It was just hot, and it sucked, and it was sandstorming all the time. It wasn't dangerous. Like, it wasn't like Iraq or Afghanistan. It wasn't in anything crazy. It wasn't Syria or nothing. It was just it just sucked. It was just hot, and that was about it.
It's interesting, because I've served as well, so in the German army. But usually, what Germans usually when we are getting into the army, we just do the basic military training, and then maybe we stay a couple of months more, maybe do some. We don't go anymore to the real big wars, but I mean, there were Germans obviously in Afghanistan as well, but I have never been overseas or so. But it's very interesting. So we got thank you very much to Truckin' Hank. Thank you, Craig, for the donation here from Canada. And actually, I have met him here in Germany a couple of weeks ago. So they came over from Canada to, I think, do some holidays in Europe, and asked me, "Can we meet?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. I show you Munich." So yeah, invitation stands to each and everybody that comes. So just shoot me a message, and also you. So if you if you were to come to Germany one day, then I don't know if you have been here because
I go every few years. I have a bunch of friends stationed in Ramstein Air Base, and we go every few years. It's great. I think Germany and Austria are probably two of my favorite countries in Europe. Like, they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're amazing. There are so many little countries here. I've not been to most of them. I've lived 3 years in Brazil, but I've not been to the Czech Republic, which is just around the corner. So it's crazy.
I got my friend Lilith is from Austria. She's coming here in like a week. We'll be going to New York Fashion Week. We'll be going to this thing called Dragon Con. So that's why I can't go to DCon in London. Are you going there?
No, I don't, because I sacrificed all my holiday days to go to Brazil in the end of the year, because my girlfriend's family, we didn't see them in a year or so. So I have to get, my girlfriend is Brazilian, so that's why.
Nice. Yeah. I understand.
You're right. Well, you got to do what you got to do. Sacrifice the designer con, but maybe there will be another, or for sure there will be another big event where Ecomi and VeVe will be present, and
I'll be at New York Comic Con, and I'll be at Designer Con out in Anaheim. So
yeah, so there you have it. If you want to meet Randy, then you need to go to these events. Smash up the like button, by the way, for the algo. Yeah, that more and more people can come hang out in the stream here. Tylo says only the crossover I never expected. This is awesome. Yeah, I agree. I was hoping for this a longer time. Next question from my side for you would be, what's your favorite piece on the VeVe app that you own?
I'm gonna answer. I'll say default answer is probably Alligator Loki, but I would say outside of him, just because like I own so many of him, I would say either Ice King from Adventure Time, or one of the Cryptkins, like Loch Ness Monster or Bigfoot. And it's not because I think Loch Ness Monster, or I don't think the Cryptkins are gonna stonk. I don't think they're gonna moon. I mean, maybe they're season 1, so maybe at some point they do, or at least the Lumens do. But I like the supernatural. I like I'm in part of this Discord called Utility Now. It's a new project, and they have this tab called Supernatural, and I'm always in there because I love Bigfoot, and I love aliens, and I love that type of stuff. But Ice King, I would say, because there was I don't know why I was so like sensitive to this when I was younger, but you ever watch the Rugrats?
I've heard about them, but isn't that what Recur dropped? Or
no?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, correct. Okay. So they had an episode where the baby Tommy, his dad, gets amnesia. Like he hits his head and he just doesn't remember who he is. So the kids have to teach him how to be a dad. They're like, oh, you go to work, you put on a tie, like this is what you do. And it's only like an 11-minute episode. It wasn't like a big thing, but halfway through the episode, you see Tommy like staring at pictures of his dad because it's not his dad anymore, because he doesn't remember who he is. And I was like, and outside of that episode of Rugrats, the only other character that they ever had showing having dementia was the Ice King from Adventure Time. If you ever watch it, it's that, Marcelly, it's absolutely heartbreaking, but it's so good. Like it's worth the tears that you go.
I will. Will not cry on camera though. It's a good recommendation. People are giving a lot of recommendations as well. We should come to Macedonia. Never have been there.
I see a bunch. What's up, VeVe Fox? What's up, Gunther Heisenberg? Jorge Aoun? What up?
Yeah, man. Wow, VeVe Fox also was here. Okay.
Yeah, she was here a while ago.
Okay.
Do you see what Ecomi's doing with Omi the Clown and VeVe Fox? They're doing like a deal.
I just saw the announcement, so I didn't know even that was going on. Although we have a group, a little German group for all the German-speaking YouTubers. But I think only today something dropped there. I couldn't look at it from work. But what is it? Do you have more information? What is it?
So it's something that it's basically what the VMate is. It's basically that. I would prefer it be like, I would rather give my money to VeVe Fox and Omi the Clown,
Yeah.
And Cherry Charts, as opposed to, like, I don't know who VMate is. I don't know who runs it. It looks good, and it looks like it has some valuable information. I think all of this is going to be free anyway at some point when all the metadata gets on Immutable X, and I think we won't have to really pay for that. I think this is just, part-time right now. It's just temporary. Italy's great. I saw a comment. Italy's a lot of fun. What Rome is. I haven't been to the rest of Italy.
I agree. So if it's something like that, I have never heard about VMate, and then they came across with this, and I was like, why not Ecomi wiki and just integrate stuff there and just build it up, because it's such a core piece of the community. So that is
Yeah.
But yeah, so I hope this, if you can, or if there's any way to support this project, then obviously we want to know. Maybe there will be more announcements also on VeVe Fox's YouTube channel. I don't know if Omi the Clown started his YouTube channel. I think he asked if he should for drawing.
He should, yeah. VeVe Fox, like that. That is probably one of the most underrated channels, because there's so much information that she puts out, and it's like, I don't know, like, I get it, like, it takes a little while to understand. You have to watch it like a couple of times, because it's so technical and so whatever, but it's so worth it. Like that, like, there's a subreddit on Reddit called Data is Beautiful, and like all of her videos should be on there.
Yeah. Exactly, because if I'm not mistaken, she has the only, at least the only one that I know of, completely focused on data channel, where you always get stuff like how many Jurassic Park posters are left over after the rest was not redeemed and stuff like that. I watch it all the time, and also her VVX tracker, I look at it almost daily now, because I want to see how the whales behave.
Yeah. So she's the one that also told me about the Thor Love and Thunder posters, how there were only 542 redeemed, I think. And after hearing that, I happened to tell a buddy of mine, and he bought 163 of them.
Whoa.
So I don't know. Yeah. So he bought like 30% of the circulating supply. I was like, what the fudge? So yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, big shout out, and for everyone who has not seen this, I mean, in these times that we are right now, you definitely got to check out stuff like this here, the top 100 collectors wallet. Yeah, so you see, there is in the top 15, there is not a single one that is selling. Like the net accumulation is positive everywhere. And there are and I see, on the contrary, on Twitter, stuff like, I sold my whole collection because this is not going anywhere. I need to secure my funds and whatever. So yeah. What would you tell these guys? What would you tell people that maybe came in January, February, they bought, I don't know, a golden moment for 700, 800, or even 2K, and now they see it going for 100 on the floor or so? What would you tell them right now?
I mean, I would depends if I want to be a little sarcastic or not. I would tell them, listen, journalists or I would say scientists, when they're trying to find life, they have the term follow the water. Journalists, when they're trying to find out who knows something and where the information lies, they say follow the money. And if exactly what you just shown, the people with money that clearly already have more than enough collectibles are the ones that are accumulating. Those are the ones that are buying. Now, you could make the argument that maybe, a couple of those people, maybe they have ties to the team, and maybe they know what's coming. And maybe, like, you can make the accusation that they have, like, secret information. Okay, if they have secret information and they're buying, bet the freaking house. Bet the ranch on this. Like, because it's not just their intuition. I mean, even still, a lot of people with money, you don't get that by accident. I mean, maybe you do, maybe you inherit it, and maybe you get lucky, but
rarely. Yeah.
I've seen a bunch of these people that are in tech that are, have been in this industry, whether it be in collecting or in dev work or whatever, and outside of, I think, Hello K, which is selling for more OMI. So, which a lot of the collectibles that I sold over the last, I don't know, like year, it's never been cashed out to fiat. It's only been selling for OMI. It's only been selling and keeping inside the Ecomi ecosystem. So I would say look at what the people with money are doing. You know, that famous Warren Buffett quote, you know, be fearful when others are greedy and be greedy when others are fearful. We are not at peak fear right now, but people are pretty heckin' freaked out. So it's a pretty good time to buy. Not financial advice, but
yeah.
I would tell Dashy. Yeah, Dashy buy right now.
I think we totally agree on this. I think you have mentioned it in one of your last two videos with the Wall Street Chi-Chi cycle. I have mentioned it as well several times. It's buying season right now, also in my opinion. So I'm doing exactly that with the funds that I have. Obviously, not with more, but I'm trying to stack as much as I can. Try to behave like these top 10 that I see there, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get it to some questions because they are piling up like crazy, and I cannot get even a hold on them anymore. I'm stacking Mighty rather than what I like because of speculation. I'm a degen. What are your thoughts?
So I don't know if I should say this. I mean, so it's just his reaction. He didn't say anything, but when one of the days at San Diego Comic-Con, I was talking to David, and he asked if I got the drop that morning. Which was the Deadpool Marvel Mighty, the taco truck, the chimichanga truck.
Oh yeah.
I was like, yeah, I have all the Marvel Mighties, and he's like, oh my god, you do? I was like, yeah, like they're awesome. But like his reaction is like, you do? Like, I mean, he knows, you know, what I'm packing as far as, or at least as far as OMI. But he got excited, I think, because they might do something in the future. I have zero idea. I don't know. I have all of them the same way I have all of the cars except for the Aston Martin. Some of the Aston Martins are really expensive. But, you know, I have the Ecto ones, I have the DeLoreans, and they haven't done that well recently. There's a ton of them. But I can't help but think that there will probably be a racing game in the VeVeverse. It might not come right away. But that should be relatively easy to make. I mean, I feel like racing games in general, you just have no, they shouldn't be that hard. So I think the Marvel Mighties are I don't know that, and that's the other IP that I don't think is based off of any like statue. Like it's new, so there's nothing to compare it to. So I think it's a lot of potential, and I also think that if you YouTube Spidey and His Amazing Friends, there's always thousands of people watching because they always have it live on, I think, Disney Junior. And there's tens of millions of views on those videos. So I think that a lot of kids will get into this and be like, oh, hey, this is what I watch, this is what I do. So I'm pretty bullish on those. And I'm not gonna lie,
I can see that. Another thought that I had, did you see this video that Dr. Profit shared where this guy is playing with the cubes? So I was thinking, even if the Marvel Mighties in the first iteration are not subject to a game where you play them in a movement, they could be figurines for a chess board game or so. And if I see what's coming, did you see this video today from the Metaverse video, this crazy one?
Yeah.
I don't know how they do this, how they do these videos and how much time goes in there. But if I just think, if these people can do these videos in 1 or 2 years, they can build games if they get the tools and they could build a chess game where you can use the Marvel Mighties and you can only play if you have enough or so.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Russ is saying the two most researched YouTubers for Ecomi, always top content, very knowledgeable, only legends. Cheers, bros. I'm patiently hodling. That's a good thing because Randy is the only legend. I have 1% of what he holds. So,
yeah, it's all right. It means you got over 1 million. Yeah,
1.3 million right now, nice. And I'm looking to, if we retrace to 0.01 to stack up to more than 2 million. Yeah. If we go back.
I hope we do.
Yeah.
Because I'll get some more, but that, I mean, there's like 100 million OMI buy order at 0.0013. So I feel like, I feel like they want that to not do that. But I mean, again, I hope it does. But I think you should have buy orders put in place because wherever it goes down to, it'll bounce right back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I could imagine a wick down, like, and then something like that, trying to break it down, but maybe not succeeding. Yeah. But let's see. I was speculating on 000s, but we'll see. Tasso says VeVe is the steam engine of game industry. Funk Pop, Lego, Back to the Future, physical collectibles, comics, and also in 3D printing communities, I see characters from VeVe that I had never seen. Wow. 3D printing community. Did you see something like that?
I mean, 3D printing community in general, they'll print whatever's popular. Like my friend Mike has one, and he prints a lot of Mandalorian stuff. But I could picture a bunch of people 3D printing like Tokidokis. There at San Diego Comic-Con, there was a line around, like a long line around the Tokidoki booth. Like it was a giant like house.
Yeah.
Line around it, people lined up against the wall. It was and when Kay said that when he was in Japan last time, that there's vending machines with Tokidokis in them and people kind of go nuts for them, and Japan's the next area that we're attacking, I feel like that's a pretty good bet. So I bought a couple of them. I don't have any completed sets anymore for the Tokidokis, but I want to. Okay. That's something I do want to get.
In general, art, does this fall under the art category, or is that art collectible or not?
Tokidokis or
yeah, the Tokidoki.
I mean, art is. I don't know if you ever watched Parks and Recreation, where Ron Swanson, he goes to Chris Pratt, forget his name, or Andy, and he's like, he starts taking picture like sad floor, sad wall. It's like, it's art. Anything can be anything. So I think that it could be interpreted as that, but I think art is really for like the artist alley, the paintings. I think that's what that means.
Yeah, I think so. Vitimon says PhD. Yeah, that's good. PH and Randy, what's good? Both of you will help me get through this 2-hour layover. Question: do you know the official number of VeVe users and how many are KYC'd? I think that's for VeVe Fox's channel, right?
Yeah, that'd be for her channel. Sub to her for that. I don't know. I have no idea. How many.
And we have Sleeping Comics in this channel as well. So he,
I love Sleeping.
Because of him, I bought this physical one that I showed before. So if you are still here, Sleeping, I know this comment is from a while ago, but welcome to the stream. And yeah, keep us updated about the comics. The VeVe Meister from Germany asked Randy if he'll come to the Oktoberfest when German VeVe fan books a whole tent in 2025. If OMI moons, that is, yeah.
2025 Oktoberfest. As long as it doesn't interfere with like Comic-Con or like, as long as it doesn't interfere with Comic-Con, you're fine. That's I'll totally go.
If that so we were making these jokes on my channel on the live streams that whenever OMI hits $1, we are going to rent a tent on the Oktoberfest and put the party here. So that kind of was more a question for later. But I would ask where you would see a $1 OMI party held. That was my question.
Where it would be held? I mean, there's a lot that's going to happen. I think it most likely it won't happen the next bull run, over to like 2025, 2026. I think it would be the one after that, like 2029, maybe 2030. Unless we have a super, super destructive like OMI utility where it comes in and we're burning like, tens of billions of OMI a year, and we got, let's say, less than 200 billion. Yeah, then it could happen beforehand, but I'm very curious and a little worried to see how people react to getting this much money. Because if you're someone that, let's say, doesn't have a ton, but you have a couple million OMI, and you decide to be very responsible and say, I'm going to keep doing my job and I'm going to not touch OMI for a while. And a couple million OMI right now is a couple grand, let's say less than 10. But when that's 10 cents and suddenly you have a couple $100,000, that becomes that's real money. And if you've never had that before, there's a learning curve to having it. And that learning curve is very steep. Sometimes people stumble. A lot of doors get opened, and not all those doors are good. So I'm really curious to see how the community handles that. But if once that hump is gotten over, then I think the party could be wherever. I think the party can be wherever people want. We want to take like a 10-week cruise. We want to do it like a New Year's thing. You can pay, I forget what you can pay, but you can go on like this giant Airbus and you can go and celebrate New Year's in every single time zone. And I've always wanted to do that. Yeah.
The OMI Force One.
Yeah. I've always wanted to do that. So maybe something like that. But I did say at $1, I would pay for Lindsey Sterling to come do a private show for a bunch of us. So
you heard the man. I was hoping for David Yu in Lederhosen on the Oktoberfest, but but anyways, we will see. This is a long way there, and I think what we have before that or beforehand is a very, very big grind in a bear market that will, in my opinion, flush out way more people than we have already seen flushed out. What do you think about the current cycle? Or do you see that we are in the next bull run in the next couple of months already because of whatever crazy stuff that VeVe launches? Or
I think that we could get more users, but I don't think this recession is done. I mean, we might see a mini bull run. You know, as yesterday we had President Biden go and say like, hey, if you make less than $125,000 a year, you wipe out $10,000 of your loans, which, you know, if you have $100,000 of loans, 10 grand isn't really all that much. But if you only have like 15, 20 grand and you get half of it gets wiped out, you're like, oh, big weight off your shoulders. And then you have people in Florida and California that are going to get some stimulus checks. And, you know, I think that you could see a mini bull run because the people in Washington don't get back from vacation until September. So you have a month really without raised rates, without government intervention. But I don't think I think that would just be short until we go into, and this is assuming that things don't get worse with China and Taiwan, that I don't think China would launch this war while they're having while their citizens aren't paying their mortgages. So I would, and if the U.S. hedges, if the hedge funds and a lot of policymakers, whoever, if they're hedged against China, where if Chinese mortgages like collapse and they're hedged and they're okay and they don't have a bunch of Chinese-backed securities, then it's fine. If they do and they're not protected, it's not going to be good.
Yeah, it's complete meltdown then if that happens.
Yeah. But again, the odds of that happening, you know, my mind does always go to like worst case scenario, and oftentimes it never happens. So most likely, I would say this continues until the Fed stops raising rates, and then once people say, okay, I'm not going to raise rates anymore, they get comfortable borrowing, they start spending, and you know, when does that happen? I don't know. Hopefully this year, but let's say hopefully early next year, and but during that time, I think we can get a lot of users. I think we could burn a bunch of OMI from the circulating supply, and I think that can start this year.
Yeah, I can see that as well. And we have seen these things looming before. I think in the first dip during the bull run, there was always the talk about Evergrande in China collapsing. That collapsing threat is still there, but it didn't happen. And I think the talk is already 2 years old in total. But I think there is at least a possibility, because the prices compared to other NFTs in the VeVe app are so low, that if we would really get catalysts like OMI to NFT or crypto to NFT in general, that we could see something of higher prices. But I think without the bigger sentiment, nothing would spark a bull run.
Yeah, I mean, and even if it does, it might just for us. Like OMI is not going to lift the entire market out of. But I mean, you do have companies like BlackRock and Citadel and a bunch of these, and so, you know, I've talked to people that have, you know, 9 and 10 figures of assets under management, which is a lot. $1 billion is a lot of money. But when you look at companies like BlackRock that are getting into crypto and they have $10 trillion in assets under management, that's a lot of money going into crypto. And, you know, it's not just like any one random whale doing it. It's like, oh, that whale's doing something. Let's see how the market reacts. Let's see how other people react. When BlackRock does it, it causes it's a wave, and it's a ship, and the train is rolling, and people are going to get on, and and some aren't, but that tells the street that crypto's fine, that crypto's okay, that that tells people that were on the fence about it. This is the gust of wind that gets them off the fence onto the crypto side.
Yeah, I think that will go together. Besides Ethereum, Bitcoin, I think there most of the people already agree that this is fine. That's why all the whales play in this waters at the moment. But I think as soon as the XRP case is fully thrown out, or at least turns in a good manner, which it looks like at the moment, in terms of regulation, I think then a lot of capital will flow into the altcoins. But could be wrong about this.
I mean, either way, I see. So China's like a pig on LSD, and you never know which way the market's going to run. And you like that, like you don't know which way it's going to run. So either market goes down and we start burning a ton of OMI from circulating supply, or market goes up and we burn a little bit, but the price rises. And either way, I think we win. I think it's do you want to win short term or long term?
Yeah. So Crazy Dan is here in the house. I'm sorry about for everyone if I cannot react to all of these comments, but I'm trying my best here to pull some up. I'm stacking too. Sven says, "What's up? This is Captain VeVe from the German YouTuber communities." Yeah, exactly. Salute the captain. Let's go, Patient Hodler. Hello, my guy Randy. I see a lot of names here that must come from your channel. So
probably. I shared it on Twitter.
Is not running around Randy's channel, please go there and sub, and also smash up the like. We have 80 people here. Smash up the like for the algo. Kids won't get into this while prices are so high. Okay, yeah, kids cannot get into this because it's against TOS, right?
Yeah, I mean, also I feel like. I mean, kids aren't supposed to be, looking at porn, and they're not supposed to be doing, stuff that, but they do anyway, because they get daddy's credit card, they get into their parents' account. I feel like, and now granted, that is kind of a minority, I would hope, but I would not underestimate kids. Like, I would not underestimate a 15-year-old to say, yeah, I'm 18, and yeah, like
we did that with I'm not saying it, but anyways, we did that with all of the stuff. It's like kids can't, or it's against TOS. Is only it's not so good of a valid argument. Even with Pokemon cards, it was like, yeah, my mother wants me to save these €2, but at the time it was Mark, I think, in Germany. But I'm going to get a booster pack. Was German booster packs are not so valuable, but. Yeah, so Sleeping Coins is great stream. I was supposed to get to go to Frankfurt in October, but not until next year. Okay, so
yeah, we'll go together.
Oh, then okay. So you two go together, and you tell me when and I come to Frankfurt as well.
Okay, I'd love to travel with Sleeping. I'd love to just bro out with him. He seems so much fun.
Yeah, I completely agree. We should then search for the best Frankfurt comic store there is to have Sleeping Comics give us a little tour what we need to buy.
What I really want to do is I want to get Sleeping drunk and then get his like real opinions on comics. Get like his like, how people have what's that called? Dirty or guilty pleasures. I feel like Sleeping, like he'll tell us some things like, yeah, I liked Admiral Thrawn from Star Wars, before he was popular. But I'm curious if Sleeping reads like My Little Pony comics, or if he, like.
I'm sure we'll get that out of him. So if you're still here, then we'll get that info. Superstar Money is here as well. Thanks for the stream, guys. Yeah, the learning curve involves the IRS.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I feel like people, especially first-time business owners, they go and they think, oh, I made $130,000 this year. but they didn't pay tax all through the year, and come April of that next year, and they got to pay up. They're like, oh my god, like sneaks up on you.
That's absolutely crazy. There, between these comments, there is a question that might take more of your words, but how did you find VeVe and Ecomi? Like, how did you get there? And maybe together with this, why did you decide to go? Yeah, not full DJ. Yeah, it's full DJ, but why did you go? Why did you go all in? So maybe you can explain that.
Yeah. So it starts in December of 2020, where I got into a game called Earth 2. It's another metaverse. It's really awesome. It's fun. It's going to be one of the bigger metaverses in the world. Like, it'll be bigger than Decentraland, Sandbox, as will the VeVeverse. But early in 2021, the CEO, Shane Isaac, had teased that their crypto would be on GoChain. I was like, okay, let me go and look at all the cryptos on GoChain. And I figured I'd be looking for something that had a lot of supply and was a very small amount of, to buy. And I was like, oh, okay, well, OMI. OMI's got, at the time, before I knew the difference between circulating supply and reserve and all that, it's like, okay, 750 billion tokens. And it's super, super cheap. And I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe this is it. So Disney OMI Cruise would be so much fun. Oh, it's so great. And they would, I didn't know 100% know what it was, but I found Orion Crypto Trader, and he had a video explaining some of the tokenomics. I was like, oh, so there's only like 350 billion or 330 billion. I was like, okay, that's a horse of a different color. That's a lot less than I thought. And then he's talking about the burn, and he's talking about, so I go and I do some more research, and I was like, and I just thought it was like a token. And then he mentions like the app and everything. I was like, okay, there's an app and you can buy stuff. And I saw some things like I didn't 100% understand blockchain. I was like, okay, like I knew what Bitcoin was and you knew how to confirm, transactions, but the confirming ownership, which I kind of heard of Top Shot. I was like, okay, but Top Shot, where I think they messed up is like some of their rares are just, or their secrets are like people just passing the ball. And it's only from like the last like 10 years. Like you don't have like Scottie Pippen going and like covering, Tony Kukoc, and you don't have, Carl the Mailman Malone just slamming down on people. Like you had some like recent stuff. But so when I got deep into it, and Ecomi actually reposted the video today from about 4 years ago to the day, where I saw Al Khan was in it, and I was like, oh, he's the head of licensing? I immediately called my friend Dan, who's like my brother. He was on the podcast a few weeks ago. I'll be seeing him on Saturday. And I said, sell everything you have right now and buy this token. And so at the time, I just retired, and I had my plan at the time. I had some Tesla, I had Pokemon cards, and I had some Bitcoin. My plan was to sell some Pokemon cards, not all of them, just some, for Bitcoin. And then when I find this token, I was just going to continue at YouTube. It was a hobby. It was fun, live off my savings like I've been doing. But then I was like, okay, I looked at the data, and I looked at, what this will be in the future. And it's like, Neil deGrasse Tyson said once that it's okay to change your mind. Like if you have a plan and it's a good plan, it's okay to change your plan on the way that you think if something better comes along. And I went and I looked at this, like this is stupid undervalued. It's more undervalued than anything else I'm investing in. And I just full degen mode. And most of it I bought last year, and now every now and then I'll do a quick job or I'll do whatever, and I'll get some more. But I bought most of my OMI last year. I only bought maybe another 25 million this year, so not that much.
What's if you want to share, what's your average buying price if you look at it right now?
I don't know. I wish I would have kept a chart of it. I don't know, 0.0035 maybe, something like that.
Okay, it's pretty decent. I think mine is around 0.005 4.9 or so.
Yeah.
Like I bought in this whole phase when the Disney drops came out, and I was like, if they bring exchanges, this is through the roof.
Yeah.
And I was so focused on OMI that I didn't see the broader market and what's happening there. And in the end, the exchanges did not come. But yeah, that is crazy. But I don't know if I remember this correctly, but I think there's a deeper story or something to this, how you found OMI as an investment, or isn't it has to do with some substances?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I knew there was something there, and when I don't know if you ever watched Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Is that the Avatar 3D movie or?
No, it's with Aang. It's a Nickelodeon kids show.
Oh no, I didn't.
Oh, it's really good. But there's there's airbenders, there's earthbenders. There's, they can manipulate the elements. And this one earthbender named Toph was telling Aang, saying like, "Hey, listen, when he's talking about trying to earthbend a boulder coming at him, he's like, there's no different angle you can take. There's no different wherever, that you just have to like meet it head on and do it." I thought that was good advice. Mm-hmm. Until I thought, like, I tend to think outside the box, and I have a little bit of ADD as well in general. But when I take LSD, I go and it's like the super soldier serum from Captain America, where the doctor is telling him, good becomes great and bad becomes worse. And I become myself like times 4. So normally I have a bunch of different thoughts like every minute. And then when I take that, I have a lot more different thoughts, and I explore each and every one of them. Like it's like when it's like a horse that has blinders on and you can only see, this way. Okay, well, you take those blinders off, and now we have all this peripheral vision, and I could see the whole chessboard. So that's how I figured out that the potential where this can go, where it probably will go, and the type of people that are going to get in this, and just human emotion, just where technology is going. Like NFTs in general are the future. Yes. I feel like nowadays it's very similar to the way our parents thought of the internet. Like parents thought of the internet, say like, oh, you're not really talking to anyone on there. You don't really know those people. And it's like, it's the internet, it's not real life. And I feel like people nowadays are looking at NFTs and they're thinking it's just pictures on the internet, because they don't know what the blockchain is. They don't know they don't know anything about this new technology. So it's the same exact thing. And I thought, okay, some of the first, I don't know, like some of the websites are worth so much now, like Google and all that. But I think some of the NFTs are going to be so super valuable because they're of Spider-Man or of Superman and Batman. So this, and obviously OMI is a thing that underpins everything, and that's crypto.
This with the Google is a super great thought. I have read about this lately, and I would even make a prediction. There will be the time in the near future, like in the next months or so, when they will declare the NFT space dead, and they will say that was it. It was just a huge bubble. It imploded, and it's dead. And that will be the precursor for the real run. It's like with the .com bubble, when they said the internet is saturated and there's no more money to make. Facebook, I don't know Facebook, but Google, they all did not exist. The big players like the Amazons, everyone either was super unknown or did not exist at all. I think NFT will happen in the same way. There will be companies like VeVe that will survive this whole mega NFT crash that we're seeing right now. But yeah, that's how I see it.
Yeah, that's very possible. When big companies say one thing, often the opposite happens. So yeah, it's a good thought.
Okay, so actually we have Randy never get into a triple VeVe episode.
Yeah, I've done that before. I spend a lot.
Oh man. This is, guys, just for, and whoever overlord wants to see that, this is no recommendation to take anything. I never took anything, but it is story, life story, how you got from A to B and stuff like that. I also read about this. I don't know if you've read stuff from Tim Ferriss, but he has written this book, like Tools of Titans, where they all describe the different techniques of entrepreneurs, what they did. And I've read so much of these stories and how they first did this, and then over meditation came to such points. So I just wanted to hear that one again from you.
Yeah, no, it's so I just get lucky that that's what it makes me think of. Mine goes to like financial places and trying to tell the future. I mean, you could also take it and just have fun, and you could watch videos. Music is so interesting, and it makes you love people. It just makes you want to just give you like a hug and just have a beer with you and just talk about life and your favorite songs and with it. It just, I don't know, it just makes you love about it.
It for sure sounds interesting, but I'm afraid of this stuff. So
yeah.
But no, for sure interesting. Sleep in Comics says I only drink in Seoul.
Okay. We're going to need some more of that. South Korea just came out. We found out that the birth rate is like 0.81 over there, and more people died in 2020 than people that were born. So we need a lot more reproduction and procreation in South Korea. So we got to make a trip. We got to have more kids.
And Demon says, what's your opinion on the physical versus VeVe 15 comic debate?
So I think a couple of people are talking about whether it's a facsimile or not, and I did a video yesterday. I was late. Yeah, it was late last night, early this morning, talking about that. And David had even said, comics on VeVe is the digital version. They're not facsimiles, as these comes from the original publisher with copyrights reserved. So I'm just going to reiterate what David says.
Yeah, I think there's among everyone, or not everyone, but a lot of the people that are in that comic scene, I saw a lot of opinions that go in the same direction, as David also confirmed that it's not a reprint. I think I saw it on Comics and Crypto. They came to that conclusion. I will have to check the Sleeping Comics here as well. But I like uncommon comics when I'm okay. If you want to get drunk, if you want to get drunk, he will force you to buy Darkhawk #1. What's wrong about Darkhawk #1?
Nothing's wrong with it. Sleeping just likes to be like, everyone needs one. You just need one. Just get one. I was like, okay.
So, yeah. Wasn't that the one that had this mega cell wall of like 600 or 800?
I think he means the physical copy. I think Sleeping always wants. Yeah.
Okay. I thought everyone needs an NFT of this. Okay.
I mean, if you're gonna get the physical, I guess you want to get the NFT copy if you want. Same pair.
But with the AF-15, there is another interesting thing that I've seen because I have actually received the recommendation to sell my rare, which is a VeVe exclusive cover that I got on the drop, to buy a common. And I fully disagree, because I think that the VeVe exclusive covers could be very, very big in the future, because they are only available on the digital side.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's similar to Japanese Pokemon cards that don't have an English release. I think that I could be wrong about this. Maybe it doesn't translate over, but I think the exclusive covers are like, there's a reason they're doing them.
Yeah, at the moment, this is one of the things I'm doing. I'm buying all the ultra rare covers. There's like around 15 gems, because they look so good. Yeah. We can buy VeVe Island, Pokemon spawn points, comic tables, a racing track. Damn, in the metaverse or in real life?
Probably means real life, but I guess in the metaverse. So what I want to do when they come out with VeVeverse, most likely there'll be some properties over there that have big IP, maybe like Marvel Land, Star Wars Land, whatever. And I want to get land near that. But I also want to get land in the middle of nowhere, where it's like, this is like the crappiest land that you can get. You don't get anything. I just want to build something awesome. I'm not 100% sure what it is yet, but if anyone's ever seen that Pokemon episode where they're on that island where there's some giant Pokemon, I would totally do that. If we have Pokemon or if we get something like that, I would want to get land in the middle of nowhere that nobody else is buying and build like a Pokemon thing.
Or like in One Piece, when they come to these islands where these mega creatures are running around. I don't know if you watched One Piece, but for me, this is the number one. If I see One Piece, I go crazy on the VeVe app.
Yeah, what One Piece? That's the longest running anime, like shonen anime, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so long.
Randy with the lights off to save electricity so he can buy the dip. I love it, hold strong voice. Yeah, actually, if you see the lights out here, it's not the biggest problem in Germany and Europe. You'll see us sitting here with a winter coat on when the heating is off. Hello, do you guys have any cash out plan? What's the timeline? Greetings from Majorca. That's an island in front of Spain, I think.
Well, howdy, Spartan from Majorca. Yeah, I want to still have 100 million OMI by the time we're at $1, or by 2030. Whichever comes first. So I'll sell a couple million OMI per year. I mean, I'm not gonna when it's down here, but I'll and yeah, at some point I will.
Yeah.
But so I'll sell 40-ish million OMI over the next 8 years, give or take.
I did not make any plans for my OMI because with the 1 point something million OMI looks good, but I want to hold them really long term, and maybe only if there's some complete exaggeration, maybe I take some profits there or so. But I'm rather thinking about what would I do with the collectibles. Maybe there are some collectibles that I would sell off in the next bull run, just to get other collectibles. But I'm not thinking of getting money out of the app in the next year, 2 years, 3 years, something like that.
Yeah.
I really want to see where these things go, like the secret rare comics that are only 500 or so.
Yeah.
Okay, what else? Yeah. How is it possible that
I was hoping you put on this.
Sorry?
I was hoping you put this on. So I'll answer JoJo's question first. That says we got Bitmart in a whole year. Like the same way Earth 2 does. They're not like Earth 2 token. They've been going on for almost 2 years, and they haven't released their token yet. They planned to earlier this year, but because of the downturn, the economy, the downturn, and the bear market, they're delaying it possibly until next year. VeVe is not the only one doing this. You don't want to go and release new exchanges in a bear market. It has the opposite effect of what you would want. So onto Mickey saying like they do not respect investors because they have big IP. They do not have to respect the OG community. Listen, for anyone that has the collectibles are we're not holding long term. The max you're able to hold those collectibles was less than 2 years so far. Talk to any seasoned investor, and that is nothing. That is not long term at all. So I think you have to take some perspective on the definition of what OG and long term is. But this is again, Gary Vaynerchuk at his VeFriends conference, VCon, back in I think April, had said that, listen guys, I can't control the price of the floor. I can't control the floor price. That's people just buying stuff. So it's not just us. Whether it's Cool Cats, Moonbirds, Bored Ape Yacht Club, everything is down. This is not unique to VeVe. If it was, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, we have an issue. Something's going on. But this is clearly not. And again, look to what we said before, where the people that have money, we're still buying. This is not. I feel like a lot of this negativity comes from people that over leverage themselves and or just tired of waiting. And which I understand the impatience. Hey, you've been holding this for 18 months, whatever. Like I have. Yeah, I get it. It sucks. You don't like to see your accounts go down, but I mean, if you really want to sell now and lock in your losses and drive the price down so I can buy more, that's fine. You're like, I'm not going to stop you.
We're going to buy it from you. It's no problem. At 0.01, I'll buy it from you. I think if I look at this comment, so we got Bitmark in a whole year. I'm like this Jocko Willink. I don't know if you know, it's good.
Yeah.
I look at it and I think good because I want the price to stay low so that it burns away while I'm low accumulate. Why in the hell would you have other people also buying that stuff if you can have that reduced to this minimum attention right now, where you really don't need attention on the token? So I like obviously I want to, next bull run when it sparks, I want to see all the listings. I want to see everything. Yeah, but there is a photo of CZ and David Yu. I mean, if you see Binance one day and it's still alive at this point, which I believe it will be, then you will see a straight green line in the OMI token, because we know that all the coins, all the altcoins that I'm invested in, they all have almost only reacted to to exchange listings.
Oh my God. And once we have that volume, once we're on, like KuCoin, Kraken, Crypto.com, Coinbase, and Binance, then you get like the Robinhood. Then you get people that just only care about volume. Like, it's going to be nuts. And I'm not saying we all get that right away, and I don't even know if we have those. I mean, it would make sense that people would want to list the coin that has, is the only coin that's associated with Disney. I would think they would want to list that, dare I say.
You also wanted to address this one, right? So, or is this part of
it? I did that after the JoJo one.
Yeah. So I
I didn't address this one. I'm sorry. I addressed the other one. Not kill 100% of his promises, turn around 90% of them still did not work. I mean, percentage-wise, I don't know 100% why you, like, where you're getting the 90% from, or you're just making up numbers, because, I mean, they did have KYC and cash out. They did go and announce that they have the OUP coming out as a Q3 priority. Will it actually come out in Q3? I don't know. It could be Q4, it could be Q1. There's no idea. But they did just have a couple of things. They did just fix payout for New Yorkers, so huzzah for that. The cash out for crypto, we did have for a little while. It's paused now. They said the technical issues. I'm not sure if it's Wire. I'm not sure if it's VeVe. But again, the amounts of time that was dedicated to switching over from GoChain to Immutable X took a lot longer than anybody thought. And I don't think that was VeVe's issue. I met the guys from Immutable X, and they are very awesome, but they are so very busy. They're juggling dozens of different things at one time, and Ecomi being one of them. So I don't think you can really point and blame them. I would say, like, hey, the reasons for that is because Immutable X is very, very busy, and they can only give and put so much time and effort into switching over for us. And they've sold over 7 million collectibles. My family is manipulator. Dude, this guy's so salty. We've sold a bunch of collectibles, and that's good. I mean, do you want them to stop? Like, do you want them to not sell anymore? I mean,
also VeVe delivered things that were not promised in 2021. So, like, they did not promise you Disney, yet they delivered it, right? So they delivered big IP. If they would have done the stuff that was demanded right now, but not delivered on Marvel, Disney, Star Wars, whatever, this whole brands under the Disney umbrella, people would be, yo, you need to get big IPs. If not, the project will fail.
Yeah. People are always going to go and say that. And it's fine. Like, it's, people need patience. Like, I think people need, that's it. I mean, Warren Buffett said, money doesn't go, from the poor to the rich. Money goes from the impatient to the patient.
Oh, okay.
Now, you could make the argument that some of the poor are impatient, and maybe that's why. Some of them, obviously not all of them. Some people are just victim of circumstance, whatever. But the people that are, like, there's a study that E-Trade did a while back where they took all the accounts for, like, I don't know, like X amount of years, and they went and they said, okay, who are the biggest winners as far as people who got the most gains, your average retail user. And most of the people were people that had died, or people that were dead and they couldn't trade. They just held. They had good things and they held. So take a lesson from our elders, take a lesson from the dead. You know, like take a lesson like that meme that shows Megan Fox when she was like a kid and she was like an ugly duckling to like now. This is why you hodl. Yeah. And again, it's not financial advice, but I mean,
just take Bitcoin. Just take. In my last video, I've shown a Bitcoin price prediction that can actually be verified on a Bitcoin blog from 2011, where he says, I think Bitcoin will go between $10 and $20 in the next run, and even $10,000 in the longer term. And people are like, crazy.
Talk about that one.
Not that one. There is a Bitcoin blog. I've linked that on where someone made a post about where he thinks Bitcoin could go. We are going to be really wealthy men, and then like some comments.
Yeah, I had put I had mentioned that in my last video. It was 11 years ago, where in New York City they had 75 attendees for a Bitcoin conference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's we at least have 100,000 members on the VeVe app already. So these guys were really early on the conference there.
What's up, and one Kenobi, Jeff Bavin? How's it going? Friendos?
Yeah. Thank you very much. Hey, from Australia, whale country. Greetings to Australia, and thank you very much for the generous dono. Maybe we pay the drinks that we need to get Sleeping Comics drunk or whatever from this money to get the info. Actually, I just scrolled down to not lose this one because I don't know what happens if the super chat runs out or the stuff here. Actually, I was someone asked if you are stacking AF-15s.
So I think that is probably the #1 comic book on this app. I'm not stacking just because I have it's just my goals are OMI, but I think that's going to be the most popular scarce comic book on this. I think that's the safest and one of the best ones, if not the best one. And I don't have any AF-15, so I'm not pumping my bags or anything. That's probably the most important comic on this app.
Well, I agree with you, but I'd rather have 400,000 OMI than one AF-15 for 400 gems. So if it comes down to, let's say, below 200, then I will buy a common or whatever. Any thoughts on the initial price of an Essence token on Earth 2 once it opens? I have no idea about Earth 2. No idea.
So they have a 5 billion max supply of their token, but only like 180 million, let's say 200 million are in the circulating supply right now that have been minted and mined, not including the Essence that's already been burned. I think if they launch in Q1, $2 would be, a $400 million market cap. And again, they're going to launch on exchanges that are not what Ecomi has. They're going to launch on some bigger exchanges. They got a guy from Binance. No reason to get a guy from Binance unless you're going to launch on their exchange. So I would say the what?
What's the price right now? Sorry.
So right now the only way to get Essence is by playing the game, and it's not on any exchanges. So I've got like 37,000 Essence. If that does what I think it does, I think it'll settle around 2. It could pump, go to like $4 or $5 and then come down. But if it even goes to $3 and I have $100,000, I'll liquidate a third of it and I'll buy a little bit of OMI, but I'm just gonna like get a bed, I'm gonna get a computer, and I'm gonna, but there is a guy.
I have to look into that. Do you think it's still possible to play and earn some Essence, or is it already too hard?
It's you still can, but you still can. And it'll probably be worth it.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure though. But there's a guy that just a couple weeks ago had a prediction that says it'll settle around like over $3, which would be great, be fantastic. So we'll see.
Yeah, then you get everything, put it into OMI. Edward says, "Whoa, Randy and Patient Horror stream together is like when Hulk and Thor teamed up." Man, that's like, I like that comment. Yeah, I like that comment.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Who is Hulk and who is Thor then? Yeah.
Well, you're white, so I would say you'd be Thor, and I'm not green. I'm not. Yeah, I guess It's just a different color, so that's fine. I'll be. I need to get jacked. I need to get really thick.
Yeah, I'll hit the gym to make up to this comment here. Can I get one of my 2 Superman NFTs to spin the world back 8 months so I can sell everything with 102 Superman NFTs now? Oh, yeah, don't hate yourself. The markets will come back.
Yeah.
Most likely. More likely than not, the markets will come back and form new all-time highs. Randy, you would love One Piece. Oh, yeah.
I've seen a few episodes. I mean, I know there's like 1,400 episodes, but I've seen a good amount.
I think I've seen everything that was translated to German, which was around the 400 mark. I think there are more than 600 already out.
Damn.
There are some sites where they are accessible in Japanese or so.
Yeah.
Patient Hodler has a perfect name for today's markets. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
You can in the bull run I will rename the channel to Moonboy Hodler or something like that. They are printing money soon again in the US. I'd rather be in the deflationary OMI.
Same.
Yeah, they're not only printing money in the US, they're printing money everywhere. Only the US is right now raising interest rates, and the other ones are looking to them and see what's happening. And you have what was it? 18% inflation prediction in the UK.
Yeah.
I think that's even an understatement when I look how prices develop here in Europe at the moment. OMI is a S coin. I think he wants to buy lower. That's why he says that.
I mean, maybe. I mean, good luck. I mean, if you want to buy lower, I create a YouTube channel, and so if I wanted to, I could make a very bearish video. Like part of the thing about being a good debater is being able to argue the other side better than the other side can. So if you really wanted to really affect the market, which I don't think you could, I don't even know if I could, but it would. I mean, I could, but it would be to make a YouTube channel. So Valentina is what they want to do. I don't know if they're a guy or girl, so I'll just call them they. I would make a YouTube channel, make your facts clear and concise, and edit it in a way where it looks like the company has no idea what they're doing, and make it look like I don't know, just do that, and if that's how you can get it to go down. I mean, really, the best way to get it to go down is be put in a giant sell wall, make people think that people are dumping. It doesn't look like Valentina has enough money for that, because a lot of these whales do move in silence, and often the loudest people in the room aren't the smartest. So when you're screaming, it's a poop coin. I just wouldn't take that seriously.
Well, I wouldn't either, but since we are already on this topic, I would ask you, what is the biggest risk that you see right now for Ecomi and or VeVe, depending on if you see different risks for the both sides?
I don't know if this is a risk, but they're a private company, and we don't know what they're spending their money on. Now, I know that they're flush with cash, and I know that they're not worried about money. And if they were, they could raise money in an instant, no issue. But I'm just curious what they're spending on. I'm curious how. I mean, Akil Patterson asked Reese about that, and Reese had said, "Well, we pay for devs, and we pay for the VeVeverse, and we pay for this and that." And I just wish we got a breakdown of how they're doing that. And I'm curious about what they pay their people and compensation. But the biggest risk to Ecomi, I would say, is if God forbid, and I'll knock on some wood there, that it doesn't happen. But I would say if David and Dan were indisposed, like completely incapacitated, they had, like, their family was being held hostage and they had to walk away from the business and sell it to somebody, I would think that would be the biggest risk. I mean, World War III, which is, I guess, always possible. Other, like, alien invasion or solar flare.
Okay, not so likely. Yeah.
No, I mean maybe major government intervention, but there's already Coinbase, there's Gary Vee, there's so many people that are putting billions into lobbyists to make sure that the government doesn't do what they often want to do, and which is hinder innovation and hinder, economic growth. So I mean that'd be my biggest worry, is that something happens to Dan and David, like they get abducted or whatever, and then they don't have a sufficient leader of the company. That would be my biggest fear.
That's interesting, because you are very, very sure about this. There are people that are worried, and I think the worry is not so far off, about the in-app economy at the moment, right? The gem economy. I said in the beginning I would get back to that comment, so I'm just going to cite it here. Basically, you wanted to know what you have to say about the broken gem economy that we are seeing right now. I made a video about it, obviously, but we see, basically, just so everyone here is on the same page, we see that there are a lot of fees where gems are leaving the app. So if you buy a collectible, 100% of the gems leave the app. If you buy something on the secondary, you have 2.5% of the gems, and then another 6%, and always gems are leaving the app. So what do you think about this issue?
I think that we didn't have cash out for a long time, and now we do, and there's a lot of opportunity in OMI, but the fees are something that are, I believe, integral to the continuing growth of the company. And a lot of people are so worried about like the market. They're worried about, oh, okay, would you rather VeVe make less money, or would you rather make them more? I mean, I would 100%. I think that once people or everyone's buying gems off the web app and not the actual VeVe phone app, then they could lower the fees, because right now they just have to make up for the 30% fee that Apple and Google are taking. I would say, we know why it's happening. What's up, orange bag lady? We know that there's no marketing, and there's not a lot of new people coming in, and they're dropping more and more drops. So our money spreads thinner and thinner. But I mean, we know why it's happening, and we know what they have to do to fix it. It's, again, they're just waiting. If you're worried about it, just don't look at it. Like, live your life, live your best life. And I mean, will this matter 5 years from now? No, not at all. Like, this is.
Yeah, I think the best argument probably to make is that we all want VeVe to make money, a ton of money, because then they can invest the money to make even more out of the app and everything, right? So they can only make money if the prices in the app do not go to zero, because fees on zero are still zero. So or fees on one gem is not a business model, right? So there is obviously an interest, even by the VeVe team. Even if you have a negative outlook or a negative look on the VeVe team, you still have to accept that they want to have the prices go up so they can capitalize on the fees.
Yeah, and I think that if people here's where I get a little confused, because if people really thought, I think people are really just complaining, and they're just venting, and they need to just get it out of their system. Because if people really thought that the team had no idea what they're doing, if they really thought that this was like a rug pull or a scam, like, they would be out of here. Like, they would have sold, and they would have left. That's what you do. You cut your losses on bad investments. So I think people are just frustrated, and they're just whatever. What's up, VeVe Fan Bam? How's it going? She's on my channel a lot. She's cool. She's chill.
Yeah, she was on under my video as well.
Nice.
We had a little discussion, but I think we solved it. About nothing bad, about the negative side of VeVe or reporting on VeVe News and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, all crypto and NFT white papers are way overhyped. It's the next one. So I think you are right about that. People need to get it out of the system, and the reason for this is probably also we are if I look around in my family and friends and circle, I'm the only one that invests in NFTs, and I'm with my cousin that has the account banned still. But the rest is not in crypto, not in NFTs. And I think people have no one to go to talk about this. They can watch videos and they can interact in the chat and they can have like blow off some steam in the Twitter space, but they cannot go out with friends and talk about what they think. I think that's a big problem for them.
Yeah, I mean, never have I been in another investment where people fund their own investments like this. Like, this is completely new to me. Like, I think it's akin to some people that are maybe like a sports fan, like they're a Jets fan. And like, oh, the Jets are going to lose. We have like, it's like you claim to be a fan, but you do nothing but complain about the team. And it's like, I don't understand why you live your life that way. Like, why you just constantly in like the negative. Now, obviously, these people are hurting. Obviously, these people have stuff going on. But I mean, there's one thing to complain about a sports team where you have no stake in the game, but to complain about a company and spread FUD when you're invested in it, it just makes so little sense.
Yeah, and if you look at Ethereum right now, it takes longer with the merge, and the merge is already announced since years. So if the VeVe fam was the Ethereum fam, they would have a big problem. And if the VeVe fam was the Cardano fam, they would, or the ADA army or whatever. Like, there is big trouble around Cardano at the moment, and I do not see reactions like this. So yeah, you are absolutely right. What's Essence, what game? Yeah, Earth 2 was mentioned, so people are already informing them. So Croatian coast was nice. I've been there a bunch of times. Yeah, it was really good. Some good pivo, Chivapir. Nice. Really recommend going to Croatia. Good work, gentlemen. Happy Thursday. Hey, Kobe, what's going on? Kobe with the Kobe streams and big giveaways.
Gotta love the Kobe.
Yeah. Localization will be a game changer. Omi is my homie.
I think so as well.
I think so as well. I completely agree. Soon we'll be through big Omi parties. Absolutely. We have talked about it. Omi Force One in the best case. Or Disney cruises. Okay, let's see what else. Yeah, someone said that IMX was listed on Gemini. So
yeah, I heard about that. I don't. I think Immutable X is very, very undervalued. I'm a big proponent of that. What's up, Energy?
Energy, VeVe Whale. Yeah, IMX is something that I have my eye on. I have not bought IMX so far, but I also want, but I want too many things. Like, this is the problem. There's only so much money to spend, and I want OMI, I want Secret Rare Comics, I want IMX. I don't know how to allocate. So if someone was really new, like some people that we have seen in the chat already, what would you recommend? Like, how could they start getting their head in right now through all this FUD and that is coming? How could they start getting their mind into VeVe, understand VeVe? So what would be good for them?
I would say follow Puddin Cheeks on Twitter. Mm-hmm. Puddin Cheeks has a chart that shows you how many gems are put into the app and how many are spent. We don't have an accurate way to see how many gems are leaving right now, but you know, if you have, let's see over here, for the secondary burn fee, you know, you'll be able to tell how much OMI is burned each day. From that reserve wallet, you're able to see the gem purchases on how many gems are bought each day. There's millions of dollars a week going into this. So I would take a look at that, and then sometimes I try not to toot my own horn, but you know, everyone's got like hype videos, everyone's got like their thoughts and opinions, like, you know, price predictions and whatever, and that's great. I think, you know, I think the community is big enough where most angles are being hit. But if you're new, honestly, my videos like every day just recaps on what happened, the news on the day, and how it affects OMI, how it affects Ecomi and VeVe. I think those are probably properly rated. They get 1,000, 2,000 views, give or take. But not because not everybody has the time to go and sit 10 hours a day on Twitter. They have work and they have families, but they might have 15 minutes at the end of the night before bed to be like, oh, hey, what happened here? How did OMI perform against Bitcoin and against the markets? And how did the news affect, VeVe and stuff like that? So I think those are, follow that, and then I don't know, like whoever clicks with you, if Taps Trades clicks with you, or Dan Lee or Cavell Anderson, whoever you like, just go with who you like, who you get this information from.
I think that's very good advice. There are a lot of people out here, and I think through the get-togethers that you also have on your stream, I think you have had a live stream of 26 hours or so.
33.
33. Oh my god. Okay, so YouTube doesn't let you upload this, right? So that's why we cannot find it.
It let me upload part of my first one that I had for 16 hours. Yeah. Let me upload the first 12. This one didn't let me upload at all, but I'll have another stream in October where I'm going to do 69 hours.
Wow. And that's nice. Comment nice. Nice eyebrows. Congratulations.
I was waiting for someone to go mention that. Yeah.
What happened?
It was on that 33-hour stream, and I was under the influence, and I just my filter was taken away. I was like, super chat me $350 and I'll shave my eyebrows, and they hit it. So I was like, oh man, they did it. So they did it, and I was like, okay. Well, I couldn't do it right away because I had an acting gig that I had to do that I needed the eyebrows for.
Oh, okay.
So I waited until that was over, and then I shaved them on the stream.
Okay, and how does that feel? I couldn't imagine that would
when I'm like wiping my eyes, it feels itchy. Like how like when you scratch, when I'm wiping my eyes, I feel like the stubble. Like when you shave.
Okay. Yeah. Usually I like that when I was at the hairdresser or so. If you feel that, I couldn't live with long hair. So if they touch my ears, I need to go.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I just cut my hair too.
Okay. Still long. Sven says, I noticed Bybit logo on F1 shirts, waiting to get VeVe logo sponsorship on t-shirts of Barcelona football team or F1 cars. Then we know we are almost there.
I mean, maybe one day we can get that. I'd be very curious too.
I don't know if that's the style of marketing though. I don't know.
I don't think we would need to. I think other companies are going to advertise for us.
I mean, we have seen some coins that are not really good anymore already on shirts. So I think Floki Ino and stuff like that that took some money and sponsored a Italian football team also, or at least they were about to. When Logan Paul buys a Pikachu, that's when you're there. Yeah,
that's when we make it.
Where do you rank VeVeVerse compared to upcoming NFT Metaverse, Sand, Mana, Ape?
So I'm already gonna put Earth 2 ahead of those, Sand, Mana, and Ape. Just looking at the Telegram and Discord chats, they're more active. But I would say for VeVeVerse, we don't know what the gameplay is gonna be like. We don't know how it's gonna be. Is it gonna be like spatial? Is it gonna be like what Earth 2 is doing? We're not sure, and we're not sure exactly in the VeVeVerse. I mean, Disney filed for their own metaverse, so I don't think it's 100% chance that we have a Disneyverse inside the VeVeVerse. Yeah. I think that they could be interoperable with each other, and I think that you might be able to go from one to the other. But I would still, I would say an 80% chance that it's better than the others, just because of what the IP that we have. And that we're able to put a bunch of stuff there. I would say the other 20% chance is that maybe it's buggy, maybe it's laggy, maybe it just doesn't feel good at first, and they correct that. But I'm very, very bullish. Like I will choose to spend probably 10% of my OMI on land, maybe 20% of my OMI on land.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you think it's only purchasable with OMI, or can it also bought with fiat, like gems or whatever?
I think that, I don't know. I hope that you're able to go in and buy it with just OMI. But if they have it where they say you could do it with other crypto or gems, and then let's say they burn the OMI in the background somehow, and that'd be fine.
Have you were you, I mean, you play Earth 2, so I figure you are a little bit of a gamer sometimes, at least. Have you been, is that I don't
That's
know.
Kirby. That's Kirby. That's Yoshi. That's Mario.
Kirby,
It's
Yoshi,
Legend of
Mario.
Zelda.
I
There's
thought
Donkey
that's
Kong
the
throwing a
Pokeball man.
Pokeball.
Yeah, okay, a Pokemon.
Big
Great.
gamer.
So yeah. Have you played? I have played a lot of World of Warcraft. Have you played that?
I haven't.
Okay.
I have a very addictive personality.
Okay.
And
Yeah, me too. I put a lot of time in this game.
if I go into that, yeah, I'm not coming out. It's a big hole that I'm going into.
Yeah. No, I played it for a long time. Also, during a little bit of a hard time in my life, I played a lot of computer games. But it gave me, like, World of Warcraft gave me an insight into how, like, I always call this is like a first iteration of a metaverse, where social community people just come together, log into the game, to sit on a fire and chat or whatever. Um, those were the first months and years of the game, for me at least. And I always said that VeVe, if they can just do something similar where people can get together in a world where they only want to log on to talk to their friends, then this will be like insane. Because I think World of Warcraft at the peak were 15 million people playing, and that was the time, that was 2004 when it came out. So the peak was, I think, in 2006 or so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think the social aspect will be big in the VeVe-verse.
Yeah, right now we do not have any social aspect, and that's what people don't consider in the app, because, I mean, to be honest, no one's reading that feed, right?
Yeah.
I do not, honestly, but yeah, I know that Johnny Dunn is looking at this. What else do we have? Upland buying gems off market for 50% discount killed the VeVe market cheap gems.
How does it kill if it made it go up? Like, I don't understand that.
Yeah, people. It's just that I think a lot of people are confused in the mathematics that that whales could, with 1 million, could buy 2 million gems technically. Like,
Yeah.
but it was still something where, in the end, clearly some people took profits by that, but the money came back in, or at least a lot of money. Yeah. Yeah. So what we. I really like the D-Gods and the Utes. They have a strong community. Any thoughts on this project? I don't know what this is.
I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure either. So I wish I had a better understanding. Probably. I don't know though. I'm sorry. I'll try to get on it. I'll keep you posted.
PH, when are you getting Neymar on the stream and talk with him about those Batman, Spider-Man, Dragon Ball Z tattoos on his back? Yeah, actually, in the beginning, when I had my YouTube channel, I made a tweet in Portuguese to Neymar, and asked for people retweeting and liking and stuff like that with his tattoos, because he really is a big fan. He has exactly these tattooed big on his back. Yeah, but he didn't respond. I hope one day he will come to the app, and maybe when we all have 1 million followers,
we can hope.
Subscribers on YouTube, then we'll get these guys on our channels.
1 million, so much. Like what is that? Is that your goal? You want 1 million subscribers?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot.
I think it's doable, but not like in 1 or 2 years. Obviously, my first mark is right now to get to 10K, where you almost add maybe 100K afterwards, and then, yeah. What's your goal? Do you have any goals on VeVe?
Yeah, 10K at first, and then 20. I mean, I will never catch up on my messages, and it's a losing battle, and that's just with the 20,000 followers between Twitter and YouTube right now. What's it going to be like when there's 100? I just so I don't know. Because I don't want to tell people. I just don't want to ignore messages. I mean, I know that that'll happen at some point, but I wanna continue to be there for the community, and I just won't be able to on an individual basis if I keep growing. So the good comes with the bad, but I would like 50,000 just because I feel like that's a good number for, hey, I'm gonna go and start this animal charity, and now that would help make everyone rich. Time to pay up and for the animal. So I guess as big as I could get, but also I don't know. I feel like at some point I don't know how I would handle like actual fame. Like I'm a little bit famous inside the community that we're in now, but the community's small. I feel like when it gets to be global, it's like, oh God, that I just don't know how I'd handle it. So I'm nervous about it.
I didn't even think of this. Actually, my vision, my dream is always this. I mean, you saw in the videos, I'm outside, so I want to go to different places, different. They just take I like to talk into the camera like this to have the videos, but I also like to go out into nature and walk and talk or something like that. So that was always my vision, and so far I enjoy it. Maybe if I get to 50 or 100K, I maybe do not enjoy it anymore, but I hope I will, because seems for now that's a goal, right? So
Oh, it's fun. It's so much fun. But I think part of the reason why it's fun because it's intimate, because we can answer every question, because on streams we can go and get back to everyone. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see. I mean, but I think when the next bull run comes and OMI explodes, I think it will not take long for your channel to go to the 50K, because I mean, a 5x basically from where you are right now.
Yeah,
I think that will happen very quickly.
We'll see. Well, let's go. Let's get this bread.
And you are on a grind, so you're uploading every day, right?
Yes.
Even twice a day sometimes, if I've seen that correctly.
Yes.
Randy, 20% land, 30% Pokemon.
Dude, if we get Pokemon, I'll sell everything except for my alligator Lokis, because that one, I got to catch them all, got to get every single one of them. But I also, I like my favorite ones. Let's say like the Bulbasaur line. I love Charizard, the Moltres, I love Mew, I love Arcanine. I love them all because they're its own individual characters, and there's so much awesome that you could do with it. And Bulbasaur's my guy.
Yeah, probably they will put all these favorite Pokemons as commons with high edition sizes, and then they will take like whatever Pokemon that no one likes to make it a secret rare, fully animated with 400 editions or so.
Dude, I would be so salty if we got like a secret rare Weedle or like a secret rare like Goldeen. Someone's gonna get wrecked.
Yeah, that's what they would do. Like I wish I could know all the names in English of the Pokemons, because they gave them other names in
I know Charizard's like Glurak, or
it's Glurak, or I think what is the snakes, they are Arbok and Rettern. So this is a snake name, reverse backwards. So it's super strange, and you try to talk to people from other countries and they don't know what you mean. Like I think there is Pokemon that you call Clefable. So like, okay, what is that? Yeah, great. But you said if we get Pokemon, so you're not sure. I always say when we get Pokemon.
I mean, when I brought it before, Ecomi bringing up that video. Like, look at the thumbnail of that video. It says like the man behind Pokemon. Alfred Archon's got a Pokemon thing in the background of that thumbnail.
Yeah.
I mean, they're bringing him. He's going to be in the next community update, and Yeah. Alex confirmed that last week on his Don't AMA, which is so weird. It's like Don't AMA, but people ask him anything anyway, and they get nuts. So I'll be streaming, and then people will be like, "Oh God, Alex just said this." I was like, "Oh." So people report. So it's great. I love that. But like, there's no. I mean, I don't say there's no reason. I always down for an appearance from Alcon, but I feel like you don't roll out the big guns unless you have a big announcement. I'm suspicious of a lot of things. Like, I'm suspicious of, I don't know, maybe Mark Zuckerberg doesn't have the public's best interests at heart. Maybe Bill Gates and Warren Buffett don't exactly like each other as much as we believe. I don't think you go and roll out the red carpet for Alfred Arcon unless there's a big announcement. And maybe it's Dragon Ball Z, maybe it's Digimon, David's been saying the D, could be D23. I don't know. There's so much that my conspiracy brain is trying to roll together.
It's probably the second time that Alfred Kahn comes to an AMA or community update. I think they only had him up once to introduce him to the community, so that this is out of the way.
Yeah.
And when didn't they say in this, or right afterwards, got to catch him L or something, even teasing the Pokemon stuff?
It was a few months back where they were talking about artists, and then Alex was joking. It's like, "Oh, Dan, can you catch them all? Can you collect them all?" And
you don't play around with this stuff. Also with Dragon Ball, David, you when they made the migration, he put up this fusion dance meme with IMX and OMI or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh. That's good. Yo,
I'm back.
My collectible. Let's go.
He's so awesome. I love him. He's so chill.
Yeah, me too. Hey, you need to come on my channel.
Yeah, same.
Oh, you didn't have him on your channel yet?
I have in, like, I gave him, and I think Rob Stuff and Dino like a link one day. And so they came on after my stream with David Yu the first time, just to talk about it. I know he's been on at least once or twice. I'm not sure if I've been on his. We've had streams together, but it hasn't been like a direct one-on-one interview like we're having.
Okay, yeah, I expected you're on podcast 133 or so, and I don't know how many people that already hopped on your stream that everyone is frequent guest already.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of people. I mean, there's some one-offs on there. There's some people that are really busy, and I'll only get once or twice in my life. But yeah.
But I really love how many people are really focusing on the collectible side. I mean, there is Old Rhubarb, VeVe and 3, My Collectibles, Sleeping Comics, Comics in Crypto. So there are so many that really focus on this and have so much knowledge about this stuff.
Yeah, there's, I think it was Dan Chavez that said there's different ages of YouTubers. There's the golden age, which is like me, Dan Lee, Taps, Hello K, WX Champ. Then there was like the silver age, which was like the Dino and the Rob stuff. And then there was like a bronze age where you had, but now I think I see a lot of women coming in. Like, I see, Wendy was part of the old crowd, but I see like VeVeversity. She's been on my channel a couple of times. I've been on hers. K Collections, or Kyla May on Twitter, and there's just I see a lot of other female content creators, and there's more that I'm just not naming right now. But I feel like for the most part, outside of Wendy, it's just been mostly men. So I feel like getting a new perspective. And if you're a woman that, like, I don't know about you, but my analytics, I have like 2% of women view my videos. It's 98% men. So I think that when you have a lot more women that are making content, a lot of other women that would be a little too hesitant to come in the space, like, it's just a bunch of men, it's an old boys club. Now they feel like, oh, okay, no, there's other women here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of them with channels, and also Twitter, even that join the Twitter spaces and talk. So that's really great. Yeah. Someone says that I want to help with the animal charities. So you got
I'll keep everyone posted.
Yeah, you can count on me when we are all millionaires. Yeah, and even if we're not, just launch the thing that you need to do, and we will know about it. Speaking of your YouTube journey, so did you start YouTube with Ecomi VeVe, or I think you had your channel before, right?
Yeah, I started with just talking about Pokemon sales data, just like the cards and what they went for, and and I had a decent amount of, well, not a decent amount. It was like 200 followers, maybe 300 before I started covering Earth 2, and it was amazing. I started talking about Pokemon because there was so much money to be made there, and I knew it, and that's what helped me get a lot of my funds. I mean, I worked hard at, I had two businesses, and I worked hard, and I bought a bunch of Tesla, but Pokemon's how I made a good portion of the funds that I had, and that's where it started. I started covering Pokemon. I started covering Tesla. I would do a random podcast, and then just talking about whatever, and then I would do an Earth 2 video. So out of the 1,800 or so videos I've made over the last 2 years, maybe like 1,000 of them are OMI related and Ecomi and VeVe related, but or maybe a little more. I mean, it's been a grind. It's been a long grind.
I imagine. And it's still a grind if we look at your YouTube channel. Did you make so for me, with YouTube started an incredible journey that I've never thought about before. So I was like, I never thought that anyone would watch my videos. So in the beginning, I was expecting like, okay, you get like 3 clicks and maybe 1 sub and stuff like that. And after 2 videos or so, I had like 30, 40. So there are several things that happened that might seem small, but for me were like bigger events. So did this happen to you as well? What were the highlights of your journey?
I think making multiple 5-figure bets on OMI, so like, okay, 10,000 here, 10,000 there, and having people be like, oh my God, this guy's insane. I mean, if we're just doing are you talking about life or just VeVe and OMI or just YouTube?
What do you mean? Sorry.
You're talking about what big events, like big events in life or big events in just YouTube or just VeVe and OMI? Like
just related to your YouTube career.
I would say when I got partnered, it was this exact cell phone.
Yeah.
I didn't have a computer. I didn't have a microphone. I just had this.
Yeah.
And I got 1,000 subscribers. I got the watch hours with just the cell phone. And I think that's really important to let people that are just starting know that you don't need this fancy equipment. You just need to have good information, good quality content, good quality, and now, will you get more subscribers by editing and by doing? Yes, 100%, absolutely. I'd probably have 15,000 if I had edited my video and make actual videos. But I would say that's a big one. Reaching 1,000 subscribers. I would say I actually had it. It was 1 year ago, like the other day, where the first time I'd had 100 people watch me at once, and since then I've obviously 6, 7x that, or I've had, I think almost 800 at one time, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But some of the big one is just big people that I got. I've had, Darcy Donovan, who's CMO of eCoin Finance, and she's a actress, writer, singer, author. Like she's done so much. Movie star, and I've had Greg Schultz on, who's President Biden's campaign manager.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
how did you get in touch with these people? It's like network, or did you just write them a message, shoot them a message?
So he's actually a friend. He's we have he was at VCon with a buddy of his, and a buddy of mine had said like, hey, and he'd like paid for my ticket, and he's like, hey, go out to VCon, cover it, and just let us know what you think. So like, okay. And and I met, and he told me this guy Juan and this guy Greg, are going to be out there, but he didn't tell me like their last name. So I'm talking like I didn't know that I was talking to a campaign manager, and I was like, oh my god. So I was like, oh my god, you're like, So we went out to dinner and we talked, and he's like, hey, like tell us about yourself. I think they were just kind of testing me out, making sure I was who I said I was, and I was like, okay, I'll tell you like everything, but just promise me you'll come on my podcast. I'm like, okay. So I did, and he did, and I've had Amar Singh and David Yu on. Amar Singh's literally Indian royalty. So I would say it's the people that I've had on, but also I don't know, getting recognized too, and just having people really, really like be truly genuine and thankful and saying like, hey, you're the one that helped, get me through this, that got me into investing. And I watch all your videos, and like, let me buy you a beer and and it's like, okay, I think it's it's the same thing I used to get when I used to private investigate, where I would help someone out. And these are people that, that a lot of my private investigating jobs, I didn't charge for. It would be a net negative for me, because I would have to, I'd have a soft spot for some of these people.
Mm-hmm.
And when they would say like, these people that I'm helping that can't afford to pay me, that don't have like a pot to piss in, like, hey, if you ever need anything, like these are people that have like next to nothing, asking me like, if you ever need anything, don't hesitate to ask. It's like, oh my God. So I think a lot of people really keep me honest, and they keep me better. I mean, there was a guy I should have mentioned this too. There's a guy last year that has the real Randy Chavez tattoo on his wrist. Yeah.
Made a tattoo? Oh my God.
So I can't mess up. I can't do anything wrong, because if I do, then this guy is gonna be like slandered, like, oh, you have a criminal on your, like, God forbid I do like money laundering, or I do like I kick a puppy or something. Like, I love animals, but I also, I don't work for Ecomi, I don't work for VeVe, but I be damned if I'm not associated with them. And I feel like I you can't mess up, because if you do, then it looks bad on the investment.
Yeah, he has an NFT, like a non-fungible tattoo with your name, and now you want to bring value to it, right?
Yeah, you got it.
I completely understand. I have this experience, and it's obviously my channel is younger and stuff like that, but in a smaller version. But I found it so fun. One of these highlights was that the Truckin' Hank came up and said, "Yeah, let's meet," and just I was blown away, because someone wanted to meet me like here in Munich. That was new already, and the other one was like actually something that I thought first negative. There is a Telegram group which is called VeVe Germany. So there is this like a German Telegram group with 1,500 people in there talking all the day about VeVe. So this happens on the side. No one sees that in the US, but there are these people, right?
Yeah.
And someone made a meme or something out of me, and I was like, I looked into the group and I was like, what is happening? And at first I felt bad, because I thought I don't want to be this guy where people make a meme out of a thumbnail. But then I thought, this is great, because I would never have thought that in my life I would have this milestone that someone does that. So I printed it. Look, I printed the Telegram. I printed the Telegram thing, and I marked it when this happened. And so now things like that become milestones. Like I have the first imposter trying to scam someone via email with my photo. So things like that. I just saved them. This is my journey, and I have it's like photos on a hiking journey or whatever.
I wish I had done that. I wish I did like that scrapbooking that you did, because it's like when you have a box of like your ex-girlfriend stuff, and you just want to throw it out, you just want to get rid of it because it's too painful to look at. And then thinking back, oh, I wish I had that. I wish I had those memories, because it's less painful now. I wish that I would have done that. The first meme that was made of me, the first time I saw an imposter.
Did that happen? I mean, I saw that happen to Daniel Lee quite a few times because of his thumbnails. I mean, there is a contest, like an NFT contest or so going on this thumbnails. I think he became Electra and whatever.
Yeah, he became Electra. He was on Homer Simpson because he's like,
yeah, exactly, with a real hard clickbait title.
yeah, he's so much fun. He's awesome. He's a lot of fun to have on. Cool dude.
Yeah, I also didn't talk to him or meet him yet, but I hope to. This is also one of the reasons I really. You start your YouTube channel and you start to get to know people, but you really want to connect with the other people that are also bullish, talking about stuff, and so yeah, it's great. It's just the beginning.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
I would get him on. He's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I will. I just wanted to wrap this up here because I think people ran out of energy and
within like 2 hours.
Flooding the market. I think you also have some back pain to get a massage or whatever right now.
A little bit.
But yeah, so thank you very much for taking the time coming on. Thank you to each and every one of you that were discussing with us in the chat. Thank you for all the super chats and contributed donations here. Yeah, and what else, Randy? Do you have any parting words here for the stream?
I'll I guess advice to you and then also just answering the community here. Ever since I broke up with my ex, people have used to ship me with people. Like shipping means like, do you know what shipping is?
No.
Shipping means like if you're watching Pokemon and you want Ash and Misty to date, you want them in a relationship.
Yeah,
and so that's what it's called. And when the two people do get together, it's like, oh, my ship has sailed. So people had always shipped me with whoever, and then I gotta go, you know. But now that I'm single, everyone's like, oh, you should date this person. You should date this person. The funniest one is like me dating Taps because like we're always roomies. So that's really fun. So just for you, if you, God forbid, if like you and your girlfriend ever split, don't tell anyone because everyone's gonna be like, hey, you should date this person. So I guess I'll tell people that I'm not dating anyone currently, and there's like I'll probably make a video about this at some point, maybe tonight. I don't know.
Yeah, do that.
You cannot manufacture love. It just happens sometimes, and you can't force it. So yeah, that's my parting words. I'm not dating anyone currently. I think Dashy would be sad if I left and had you know.
Yeah, I think you can you can never sell Dashy because she's part of your stream and stream world there.
Yeah, I mean, Dashy's on sale for $50,000 on eBay.
That's a half a vault in 2 years, right? So yeah.
That's true.
Okay, so yeah, then these parting words are for you in the chat mostly to remember, for me as well. And yeah, wherever you are on this planet, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon, and see you in the next video or live stream. Bye.